I just texted
So
you.
whatever. I have no idea. Should I make all these eggs? Yeah. Okay, sweet. Can't wait to see it. Yes, there. I'm gonna make all the eggs. All the eggs on the land.
It's no secret that food plays a key role in people's personal and cultural identity. Countless books, movies, paintings, and more have been made on the subject. But living in a foreign country surrounded by other expats made me start to wonder, to what extent do we use food to cope with a new place? And how does our relationship to food change with location?
When I got to the state at the beginning, it was very hard to adapt to the situation. It took me about 2 months. The first 2 months were terrible. I only had salad sometime for dinner / breakfast / lunch. So I had to take some vitamins at the beginning because I couldn't handle food.
I talked to 3 main people for this project. Benny, an Italian living in Amman. Rika, originally from Germany.
Should I introduce myself or?
Sure.
Yeah? I'm Rika, I'm 25 years old and I'm from Germany. And I've lived in Amman for 2.5 months now.
And Abdullah.
My name is Abdullah Gatana. I'm a junior studying civil engineering at the University of Jordan. I got back from the state about 5 months ago after spending an entire year in the Midwest, and specifically Fargo, North Dakota.
I asked Benny to teach me how to cook any dish from any background, and she chose.
Spaghetti bolognese, which is an Italian recipe that I've learned, I don't know when or where, but all Italians know how to make it. And it's basically fettuccine with mincemeat and then the tomato sauce. It's very easy and it's very good. To prepare the sauce, you start by chopping the onions and the carrot. And then I just chop the tomato because I like to have it fresh. And then I just add this and the meat and cooks for like half an hour. So it will take a while before we eat. So once you've chopped all the vegetables, you put a pan with oil. I like olive oil, that's the Italian one. And then you put in first the onions and the carrots, and I put also some garlic. And cook it for a little bit. And then you leave it for like maybe 2 minutes, I don't know. And then you add the rest, like the meat and the sauce. And salt.
For her, food was a way of expressing and connecting with national identity.
Okay. Now there's the meat.
A different way of preparing the same dish express regional identity.
And then you can make it like cook for like maybe half an hour, or some people do it in the south, like Valeriana, she does it for 2 hours because it gets really, really thick. But in 2 hours I will be too hungry. Therefore.
All these chefs are very good, but when they try to cook Italian, they put something mixed Italian and American. So, this is an Italian recipe, blah blah blah. It's not true.
Valeriana, you are my advisor. That's fine, right? Ho fatto the soffritto, I don't know how you say it. And then the meat and the sauce, right? Pasta is almost good. But we need to see if actually it is.
Because also Paola doesn't cook. Paola cooks pasta. She put in the water and then pasta.
Oh yeah, a couple of minutes.
And then she goes. And she returns after 20 minutes. Or even more. Because she doesn't like pasta al dente.
You don't know? Actually do it on purpose.
Yeah. I prefer pasta like very cooked.
Okay, and now we can add the...
Sto facendo come gli americani, eh?
And add the sauce. There's pasta for like there's 20 people.
While there were dishes and ingredients that Rika missed,
Fresh vegetables, like good quality fresh vegetables, seasonal vegetables, farmers markets in specific, and just dairy products, like just having like a full range of yogurts.
it was the social aspect of food and eating, or lack thereof, that stuck out.
And I think like living alone in Amman, when the process or like the whole like eating together is just like a family affair here, or like at least you would invite other people to eat with you. And so living alone and like eating alone is just always very depressing, as opposed to being invited to a big Arab family and, you know, enjoying this hospitality, but also just the spirit of having or sharing this meal together. And I think Arab dishes in general are just, you know, designed to be eaten or shared together.
Is there a certain food dish that you associate with, like, your family or with home or anything?
Yeah, my dad makes this really great lasagna that he actually used to do when I was little every Sunday. So, well, he used to do the sauce on Saturdays, and then that used to simmer for like the whole afternoon, and then on Sundays we would have like a huge family dinner. We would invite like friends over, and this was always, yeah, just a nice family moment, I guess. So I kind of miss that, and when I actually do the lasagna sometimes for friends, which is nice to kind of relive those moments. And then,
having left Jordan to go to North Dakota for a year and then returning, Abdullah talked about how his perspective on what constituted food and food variety.
Coming from a typical Jordanian family, it means we have plenty of food that contains cheese, like white cheese from the sheep. We do have, we use a lot of yogurt. We do a little bit of salty food, sometimes very salty. You can always see rice and like meat, either chicken or beef. Rarely beef, actually. And sheep meat, lamb meat. With rice. A little bit of different spices. Change the meat. Well, you get a new food for us.
Changed during and after being in the U.S.
After 2 months, things I kind of started getting used to the taste, and I kind of could figure out the differences between like burgers, differences between, well, this is a good burger, this is a good steak, and so on. It was, I don't know, I'm just thinking about it through. After 2 months after I got there, I got invited by one of my professors to try some of American food. And it was a very lovely experience. I couldn't stop eating that night. It was, after getting used to the kind of food that they have, and like, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. It was an astonishing food. It was, I think, she had an eggplant with something, a little bit of lamb meat, cooked there, just a very different way than we do it in home, like here in Jordan. How is it coming back to Jordan? Things have. I used to put a lot of salt in my food, and now, like after going to the state, with having a very tiny bit of salt, I've reduced a lot of like my consumption of salt overall. I'm kind of fast food free, no more fast food. I've reduced plenty of, kind of more open-minded now for international food. Things have changed at the state. I started like smashed potato. I do like turkey now. I love corn. What else? I was okay. Was fine with the steak. Now I love steak. I start eating more salad. More than eating Caesar salad right now.
We all must eat to survive, But for most of us, food and eating is not so much about the physical survival as it is about the people and places in our lives. We use food to bond with the ones we're with and remember the ones we miss.